Here's another story about one of my old relationships. I know I share them a lot, though they are the people closest to us. They are the people that we share more of our time, of our emotions. This is the park where we met the first time. That time I was running here every day, and she was walking her dog for the first time in this park. After a month we started dates. She moved to my house, and I was building a business, though something happened, and it didn't go well as I expected. And she was also unhappy living in this country. She wanted to go to a specific place, not just in a specific country, specific place in that country. She wanted to live there. And eventually we broke up. First she said, let's be friends, and she moved somewhere close by to the park. And whenever she needed help, she was asking me, but at the same time she was bullying me. And one day, while she was walking her dog here, and I was also running, she told me, I don't want you to come to this park anymore. I was like, what? And she was like spitting all this anger, hatred. And after that, every time I come to this park, I was feeling all this anger that she put in me. And it took me like maybe 2 months that I finally said, stop doing that. You shared your life with this person for 2 years. You love this person. And every time you come here, you start complaining about this person. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make a conscious decision. So she loves beaches. She loves lighthouses. She likes her dog. And every time I come here, and these moments come to my mind, I just swept it away and thought of, on the beach, there is a lighthouse. She's happy, dancing, and her dog is there, running. So I start to do this mental visualizations. It's like praying, actually. It's like wishing someone something nice, holding this space for them. And maybe a year passed, and I was walking, and I randomly saw her, and I was so happy to see her, that she was my best friend for 2 years, right? And I want to tell her so many things. I want to thank her for everything that she did for me. I want to apologize for the moments she put an effort and I did nothing. So I approached to her happily. I was like, how do you do? How are you? She gave me this look full of hatred, and she was like, you annoy me, I hate you. What? And after that, all these imaginations, everything I put this effort to find love. I'm not saying I was in love with her, but I had love for her, respect for her, and just swept away again. And it took me another 2 months to forgive her for that. I think a month or 2 months ago, I was with a friend. We were sitting in a cafe, and I saw her. She walked past us. She was angry again. She was full of anger about life and everything. For a second, I want to say hi. Then I said, okay, you learned this lesson. You know, she doesn't want to have any type of communication. Even all these years passed, she doesn't. I wouldn't mind if she come to my house, ringing the door and saying, hey, can you lend me a hand? I would happily do that, though we are all different people. And she was just stuck in anger, as usual. Though it made me think, it hurts me, because I also made a video about taking responsibility. When she spit that anger towards me, I'm also part of this. I mean, why I'm receiving that is also something I need to ask. Why I'm bringing these people to my life, this type of people, and also I'm part of her anger. And the next 2 weeks, she was always on my mind. She was coming, I was like sweeping her away. I'm saying, nope, nope. But she was coming back, coming back, coming back. And one day I was floated with her thoughts. I said, I'll just go out, I'll run. Because when you run, you shake things. Your body works, your energy changes. And I started to run, and I come to this park. Eventually, then I stood under one of these trees. I don't know if you can see them. Give me a sec. So I was there, under that tree. And she was on my mind. And I told to myself, look, you can't keep doing this. You need to move on. And around the same time, my friend was kind of mocking me for not having a relationship for a long time, which I also realized there were these little things about myself, beliefs that she put the seeds, and I had to clean myself from them, because an approach is, let's say you have some tea and you want to drink water. You need to first empty the cup so you can put some water inside it, right? So I had to set myself free from herself to open myself to new, and I also clean myself from all this negative thoughts she planted in myself. I was under that tree, and I was thinking about all of these things. Then I told to myself, I will not play this game anymore. I need to move on. I owe this to me. I owe this to you. I owe this. And I thought of her just next to me, like we are there together. Just visualize her. I turned my back and I took one step. Not just any step, it was a very conscious step of leaving something back, making a move, going forward. It was hard. It was really hard because I chose to say goodbye to someone I loved. I chose to create a new reality at that moment. I took another step, another step. I'm not just talking about taking steps like that, I'm talking about conscious steps, effort. And then I start to cry. I said, I love you. Thank you for everything. You're such a wonderful person. And I'm sorry that you're experiencing all these things. I cried for her, cried for myself. It was not a cry coming because of anger, hatred, sorrow. It was coming from love. And with all the steps I took, I was getting far away from her. I was setting myself free. Then I start to run. Here, where I always run. And just interesting, I was running, crying, and there were some people kissing, drinking, shouting. And it was what I needed. So, if you feel stuck, if you know what causes your emotions, you have a choice to make an effort to make a decision to move on. And even if it sounds childish, all these little mental imaginations, they help. Because what we think has an energy. I can just say I love you, or I can really mean it. The words by itself mean nothing. The emotions, the thoughts we put them, makes them stronger. So maybe you can try something like that. Fire is transformative. Yes, it burns. It can destroy a house. Or you can use fire to shape the metal, cook the food. So I also like to think of fire when I do mental imaginations. If you have this very bad memory, maybe you can just paint it somewhere there atop, and then you can burn it. Then you can send all these ashes to the sea, because sea is a huge vast of a healing water. And Mother Earth holds all the space for us to breathe and live. Feel the sun without burning. So why don't you give it a try?